You an ignorant, disloyal, ungrateful, and I'm going to call you a until you start acting like a woman, because that fancy dog collar that Puff got around your neck and has had around your neck for the past 30 years, it should have been done got tight. It don't feel like a noose, Mary.
Damn.
It don't feel like a noose.
Everyone who has been around Diddy and acted like they were not aware of anything he was doing is being called to the front. And at the top of this list is Mary J. Blige, who, by the way, got an honorable mention in Kim Porter's alleged book for having threesomes with her and Diddy.
You shame yourselves. And all of you that won't speak, I hope you get charged right with them as an accessory before, during, or after each crime, because every has been around Diddy, seen Diddy beat a bitch.
And allegedly, Miss Mary J. Blige could have more information about exactly what happened to Aaliyah, and I will be getting to that as well shortly. Okay, y'all, Mary J. Blige recently announced her next tour, which sounds like it's gonna be a love letter to her fans when she wrote on Instagram, "When it's all said and done, it's never all said and done. I owe my fans a gratitude I can't put into words, so I put it into a show." She also was on Sherry's talk show to talk about the tour and said once again that the tour will be for her beloved fan. Conversation that Mary probably should have seen coming with everything that's going on with Diddy. One person actually wrote in the comment section, "You've been that man's friend for over 30 years and never seen nothing or heard anything? All these empowering songs for women you made and you still was calling this man your brother. Fans want to know why you didn't help them women." Well, to a lot of people, it sure seems like Mary is trying to deflect now that her BFF has been arrested. And her name is coming up in a lot in relation to Diddy. First of all, we've had people saying that Mary J. Blige should come clean about the allegations that have come up in Kim Porter's alleged memoir. Now, initially, there were rumors that Kim Porter's book included details about Diddy and Mary J. Blige's relationship, how she got pregnant by him and got rid of the pregnancy. But now there are more details, with the book alleging that Mary J. Blige had threesomes with Diddy and Kim. In fact, the memoir specifically said that Mary J. Blige was the first threesome Kim had with Diddy. Well, I'm not entirely surprised that Mary J. Blige may have been hooking up with both Kim and Diddy, because we've also heard a bunch of stories about how she rolls. Jaguar Wright even Kim had with Diddy. Well, I'm not entirely surprised that
You got Beyonce, Kim, Mary. I don't know who those other two women are. And then that's Kimora.
Mary J. Blige may have been hooking up with both Kim and Diddy, because we've also heard a bunch of stories about how she rolls. Jaguar Wright even accused Mary J. Blige of hiding her real sexuality in one of her rants, where she not only challenged MJB to a versus, but wildly claimed that she is a lesbian. Jag was like, "I can produce my own songs. I can sit down with a competent mix engineer and walk all the way through a mix. I can do all those things, Mary. Can you? What can you do, Mary, other than play dress up and eat snatch in dark places, hoping nobody finds out you're gay? And if I'm lying, sue me, Mary. If you got the heart, let's do the verses. Or if you want to apologize to me for the way you
The story surrounding Diddy, Mary J. Blige, and the recent allegations has shaken the entertainment industry to its core. As new revelations come to light, the resurfaced interviews and claims paint a vivid picture of a world far removed from the glitz and glamour associated with hip-hop royalty. This tale isn't just about celebrity gossip, it's about power, abuse, and the courage to stand up against it.
Try to destroy my career at its very beginning, you can do that too. About Kim hooking up with Mary, it's possible that Diddy was forcing her. And I'm saying this because something similar came up in one of the lawsuits that was filed against Diddy, where April Lampros described in detail 4 times Diddy acted like an animal towards her. She said that the first time it happened was in 1995 after they met at a New York City bar, and April said that Diddy pressured her to drink alcohol. She apparently felt uneasy after a few sips and was later guided to a car to leave with Diddy. Then after arriving at a hotel where she continued to feel unwell, April was on a hotel bed when Diddy forced himself on top of her. April then described a different encounter that involved Kim Porter, alleging that she was at Diddy's apartment in Manhattan with Kim after they had returned from a nightclub, and Diddy told both of them to open their mouths and forced ecstasy down their throats. Then he forced them to hook up as he watched and got off while watching Kim and April. But it didn't stop there for Diddy, because after forcing the two ladies to hook up, April adds that Diddy Diddy proceeded to force himself on her. So it's actually very possible that something similar happened with Mary J. Blige as well. And this is why fans are saying that instead of trying to deflect, Mary J. Blige should be spilling exactly what happened between her, Kim, and Diddy. Well, we also have people saying that they really don't think Mary J. will be snitching on Diddy because they have been pretty close. I mean, we all know that Mary J. Blige and Diddy go all the way back, and Diddy is the one who actually oversaw her first 2 albums. In fact, while speaking about how Diddy helped her overcome her fears in the music industry, Mary J. said, "When I met Puff, I was afraid of success. I was afraid to do anything that could draw so much attention on me, and when I met him, he was the complete opposite. And he was such a good thing for me because I needed what he had. His ambition pushed me to be ambitious." For those who recall, earlier on, Mary J. and Diddy had a fallout, and she actually took the blame for whatever happened between them, saying, "The reason we split up is me not understanding the business the way I needed to understand it at the time. He had a label, he had a female artist, he had Biggie, but during the time, I was really dogging myself. I was a mess on Any smart man or businessman would have moved away from me. It felt like he was becoming distant, but looking back, I now understand why. I wasn't delivering properly. I wasn't taking care of my health. So how can he roll his dice on me? Obviously, they worked out whatever was happening between them because for the past 2 to 3 decades, Diddy and Mary J. Blige have been as tight as thieves. There are actually tons of photos online of Mary J. and Diddy together with people like Cassie. And there are also plenty of photos of Kim Porter and Mary J. hanging out together and being very loving towards each other. Mary also attended Kim's funeral and spoke. So if there's someone who witnessed firsthand what Diddy was doing, it has got to be Mary J. Blige. When it comes to her friendship with Diddy,
think about that, man, how like when you just think about all the possibilities, man, like she's up there speaking at the funeral, but then if she, knows what possibly happened, I found, just to let y'all know, I have a good balance. I watch these type of videos and I also watch a lot of positive stuff. I got to keep myself sane. But this stuff, it is a lot, man. It is. It is. Ain't even go front. Because I feel like at one point...
Let's take a moment to step back and understand the magnitude of this drama. Diddy, a name synonymous with success and influence, has been the subject of multiple allegations that include heinous crimes. From the disturbing lawsuit filed by Cassie, his former girlfriend, alleging RA, physical abuse, and CT, to resurfaced interviews hinting at inappropriate behavior, the dominoes seem to be falling. The allegations are explosive, shaking the foundations of the hip-hop world. The queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J. Blige, has always been known for her strength and resilience, qualities that shine through in her music. But now, her name is being tied to this conversation in unexpected ways. In the wake of the allegations against Diddy, Mary J. Blige has decided to clap back, not just to clear her name but to stand as a voice for accountability. Dive deeper into the resurfaced Usher interview from 2016, which has added fuel to this fire. In that interview, Usher recounted his time living with Diddy at the tender age of 13. He described it as pretty wild, a phrase that, in hindsight, feels far more loaded than it did back then. Usher revealed that he witnessed curious things during his time at Diddy's so-called flavor camp. The imagery is unsettling, especially when paired with the recent allegations. When asked by Howard Stern if he would ever send his own kids to such a camp, Usher's response was an emphatic, "Hell no." That one line speaks volumes. This isn't just about Usher's experience, it's about a culture that allowed such experiences to go unchecked. When the Cassie lawsuit came to light, it opened Pandora's box. The allegations she made were deeply disturbing, detailing how Diddy allegedly forced her into acts against her will, plied her with substances, and even made her carry a weapon. These are not minor accusations. They are horrifying crimes that demand accountability.
It is a new hour here on Live Now from Fox, and we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit, and the new allegations are just coming out this evening. Jay-Z is being accused of raping a minor along with Diddy at a MTV VMAs after party back in 2000, according to documents obtained by Fox News Digital tonight. The lawsuit, which was initially filed back in October, was refiled tonight in New York by an anonymous accuser claiming Jay-Z, whose full name is Sean Carter, raped her while Combs and Celebrity B watched. So that other celebrity was not named. Initially, the lawsuit stated Combs raped the minor while Celebrity A and Celebrity B watched. Carter was named as Celebrity A in the refiled lawsuit. Representatives for Jay-Z did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital request for comment. Combs and Carter allegedly, quote, took turns assaulting the minor, according to the lawsuit. Many others were present at the after party but did nothing to stop the assault, it alleges. The 13-year-old girl was dropped off at Radio City Music Hall by a friend as she wanted to attend the MTV Video Music Awards back in 2000, according to the lawsuit. In an attempt to gain entry to the venue, she began approaching limousine drivers waiting outside the celebrity-filled event. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for Diddy, the lawsuit read. He told her that Combs liked younger girls and said that, quote, she fit what Diddy was looking for, not allowing her into the awards, but inviting her to an after party. The 13-year-old, quote, recognized many celebrities upon arrival at the party and was required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. However, she was not given a copy. Combs, who would have been 30 years old at the time, then allegedly attempted to force the girl to perform oral sex on him. He stopped after she hit him in the neck, according to the lawsuit here. So now Jay-Z being accused in this now 24 years ago, raping a 13-year-old alongside Diddy at an after party here. So these are the newest allegations rocking the music world this evening, and we wanted to bring that to your attention all right here on Live Now from Fox. Of course, we will continue to follow this major story as the Diddy saga continues, and now more celebrities getting caught up in it here. These new allegations rocking Hollywood and the music industry as we speak right now.
Diddy, of course, has denied all allegations. He maintains his innocence and has settled some of these lawsuits quickly. But that hasn't stopped the tidal wave of public opinion from turning against him, and why should it? The stories, the resurfaced interviews, and the public's reaction all point to a deeper truth that can no longer be ignored.
If you got a clip, play this clip. He's not really saying it here. When I watch this, he's not saying it.
PBD. This is just them saying what we know. But the clip that I sent Rob is of what was his name, Robbie? Big Homie CC. PBD.
Good guy, Big Homie CC.
Yeah, because so Pat, you know what's going on. So let me
read the story and I'll come to you because I thought it was a video there.
Yeah.
During the tapings of his upcoming Netflix special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx reportedly stated that he was responsible for what happened to him, and Fox is the one who called the FBI on Combs. According to Choke No Joke, a videographer who attended the shows, another attendee, Dennis L.A. White, recalled Fox saying, people keep asking me if Diddy was responsible. He was not responsible. If he was, I would have been dead. Fox also referenced Combs extensively in his routines, joking about topics like baby oil. Fox reflected on his 2023 health scare, calling it an unexpected dark journey. He explained on Instagram, I had an opportunity to tell my side of the story, and there was no better place than Atlanta, Georgia, where he was hospitalized. He described his special as an artistic explanation of something that went terribly wrong and added, to clarify, I was betrayed by a fake friend. Oof. Bingo. Go ahead, Vinny.
Okay, so fake friend. So and mind you, and I felt blame to this because the media and everybody was being quiet. The family, his daughter, everybody was like, especially because this was the whole COVID vaccine. People were like, just tell us. Just mind you, I know Jamie Foxx personally. I even messaged him when he was going through this. I said I'm praying for him and everything like that. We didn't get into nothing like this, but everybody was like, "Oh, it's the vaccine. It's the vaccine. Talk to us. Talk to us." It was media silent. So from what I'm gathering, because I know people that are there that went to the special, when you go to a special like this, and you guys know this from the comedy shows that we've been to, they take your phone, they lock it up. You can't have anything recording or nothing, right? He said in the special that, I was hospitalized by this person. And mind you, him and Diddy have had a business falling out. They said they had a beef. So the Choke No Choke was a videographer, and he was like, yo, I was there. He said Diddy was responsible for what happened to him and that he's the one that called the FBI. And Choke added, I don't think he was joking in the special. Okay, so nobody knows, and you guys know this. We might not ever see what's even there because on the cutting room floor, we know this from editing, if he doesn't like it or if it's anything kind of too far, they'll edit it out. But the people that were there were saying that he was saying it and that he was serious about it. And also, this is a little while ago, Pat, this was celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC, who publicly alleged that Diddy, and mind you, let's not pretend like people are like, this is a far-fetched idea. This is the type of character, after dragging Cassie and doing all the shit that he did, that this guy alleged that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx, leading to him calling the FBI. And he also stated in this video, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and he also said that he's been poisoned before in the past. Can we play this clip?
Yeah. Some of the things that you heard behind the scenes that were going on before this indictment actually dropped.
Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
So, wait, you're saying that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx, and that's how Jamie Foxx got sick?
Jamie Foxx reported this man to the FBI because of this. Facts.
Wow. Okay. And how did you hear about this? If you can tell me, or if you can't, that's all good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, well, people are they're gonna want to know, you know what I'm saying, how this happened.
Now, let's circle back to Mary J. Blige. How does she fit into all of this? As someone frequently seen in Diddy's orbit during the height of his career, questions have been raised about her perspective. Did she know about the alleged abuses? Did she turn a blind eye? Or was she another victim of the toxic environment that seems to have surrounded Diddy?
Happened, or, you know what I'm saying, what's the backstory to this?
Well, by the time this drop, this is going to be in the stratosphere. It's going to be in the ether by the time this drop. Boom. You can probably look it up right now. But by the time this interview drop, this is going to be out in the ether for sure.
And who's this guy?
These people poison people, bro. I've been poisoned 3 times.
He's been poisoned.
Why am I testing positive for cyanide? You feel me? Why am I getting, why do I had pneumonia 3 times? So people like, man, why he breathe like that? Because I only got 1 lung. And then I had a car crash. I got 1 nostril permanently blocked. And I done had pneumonia 3 times. Somebody been trying to poison me. My brother got poisoned with me. The little lady I was bodyguarding, she got poisoned. Like, somebody is carrying on these antics. These is facts.
Is there any idea why Diddy would want to poison Jamie Foxx?
Benny, who is
you get called to testify?
This is Big Homie CC. He's a bodyguard.
Is he a
celebrity
journalist?
bodyguard. No.
Big Homie CC.
Big Homie CC is a bodyguard.
Nobody has more credibility than the Big Homie CC. I'm
just saying we like it's not, it wasn't COVID, it wasn't the vaccine. There's something going on, and the fact that he's talking about it on his. By the way, this is his special taping. They do 3 shows, and this guy said every single show that he mentioned it, and he thought he was serious. So I'm just saying.
I'm gonna take the other side on this. Number one, have you seen the special?
Nobody has.
Okay,
well,
exactly.
I know people that were there.
You know, there's a famous phrase in comedy. These is jokes, man.
Okay.
These is jokes. So,
but joking about somebody poisoning you and then you calling the FBI, I don't know.
There's a lot of Diddy jokes out there right now. There's a lot to make fun of. I don't think, my opinion, I'm gonna throw the word allegedly all over this conversation. Yeah. If he was actually poisoned, almost lost his life, that he's not announcing it at a comedy special, the FBI would be dealing with this.
Well, now he could. Well, now he could, Adam, because the FBI's arrested the guy and he's in jail. He's not scared of his life.
How much credibility are you giving to the Big Homie CC?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think when somebody like that is talking, me personally, I believe him. I believe him because I know what
you
100%
believe him.
No, I would say let's say 80%.
I'm at like 2%
because those guys see everything.
This motherfucker?
Adam, these guys see everything though.
That guy had sunglasses on. He's 380 pounds and he's wondering why he can't breathe so good. Maybe lose some weight, motherfucker.
No, but I mean, listen. I'm just saying I wouldn't put it past somebody like Diddy, who we know the track record from his allegedly having people shot, baby oil that had freaking drugs in it, to all the crazy stuff that's going on. This is the least of my thing. If you have a beef with somebody and then poisoning them, I believe it.
I'm separating 2 things. Hold on, Tom, let me finish one thing. I'm separating one thing. Do I think Diddy is a world-class scumbag who's probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail? Yes. Do I think that Jamie Foxx joke and whoever the Big Homie CC is has any credibility here? Very low. So I'm just separating the two.
So okay, okay. And I want to go to you,
guys.
Since when did hip hop stars start taking a page out of the failed James Bond assassination handbook, where you're going to poison some guy or put him on the edge of a cliff and he's going to be rescued? Why don't you just go back to the 90s and just pop a cap in his ass?
Tom's getting gangster.
I like when Tom gets gangster or German.
It's like,
Instead of Tupac's hit him up,
it was so
like,
easy where you would just drive by, shoot him in the head, throw the gun in the ocean, and then go roll with your homies for the 2 a.m. club.
People are starting to realize who Tom really is.
Tom is but now we got to do. Wait a minute. We'll put the poison in a Big Mac, and we'll slide the Big Mac.
The other day, we're going to church on Sunday with him and his family. They pull up. You know what music Tom is listening to with his kids? It's the Thuggish Ruggish.
No, he did not to go to church.
He's a big Mo Murda fan. He's a big.
Remember the last Sunday that he was like, "We're Brooklyn at."
Right.
Mary J. Blige has always been a fighter. Her music reflects the pain and struggle she's endured, from abusive relationships to battles with addiction. In many ways, she's the perfect person to speak out against this culture of silence. And speak out she has. In a recent public statement, Blige didn't mince words. She called for accountability, not just from Diddy but from everyone who has enabled such behavior. She emphasized the importance of breaking the cycle and creating a safer environment for artists and young talents.
Tonight, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, is pushing to get a judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's account.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she might have some facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, she says Combs' limo driver took her to an after party. There she says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. The woman revealed to us that she has autism and previously suffered a head injury. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up. 10-hour drive, round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night. Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
Spiro said he's not only seeking justice for Jay-Z, he says that he also wants to expose the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby.
He takes away the voices from real victims and he causes real harm. If this lawyer has any sense, he's going to dismiss this claim. I don't know whether he has any sense.
Busby, who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week. A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Since your attorneys refiled the lawsuit against Combs naming Jay-Z, he has come out with a very long statement saying that this is completely not true and that this is all about trying to get money from him. What do you say about that?
Her response is significant for several reasons. First, it shows that even those within Diddy's inner circle are not willing to stand by him unconditionally. Second, it sets a precedent for other artists to speak up. If someone as iconic as Mary J. Blige can call out wrongdoing, it sends a powerful message to others who may be hesitant to share their own experiences.
There's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number 3, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, you know, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally. But it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen. But it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on a point, too, that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, you know, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather.
But this isn't just about Mary J. Blige or Diddy. This is about a culture that has allowed power to go unchecked for far too long. The entertainment industry, particularly the hip-hop community, has often been criticized for its treatment of women and its glorification of toxic masculinity. These allegations against Diddy are a stark reminder that this isn't just a narrative, it's a reality.
All right, did you hear about this? Rapper and music mogul Jay-Z is now being accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs during an MTV VMA after party in the year 2000. The rapper issued a blistering statement in response and directed his comments at attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, saying, quote, "You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." Criminal defense attorney Lexi Rigdon joins me now. Lexi, good morning to you. What a development here. So another thing Jay-Z said in his statement is that this was a civil suit filed against him. And he said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, essentially saying, if I really did these things, treat me the way I should be treated. So how should we be thinking about all of this? What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions to my lawyers. I actually admire the strength of the denial. I think that at this point, there's no objective indicia of reliability to this complaint. Now, obviously, things are going to play out and we're going to end up learning more. But if you look at it on its face, it's a 24-year-old complaint. Very significantly, he was not named in the lawsuit in the first instance when it was filed. The girl was allegedly 13 at the time it happened. And in the complaint, it says that she had been given something and she was, quote unquote, woozy. And so I think that this just needs to be looked at in kind of a measured way. Unlike the media is treating some people in the media, Pete Hegseth being one of them, where they automatically hear an allegation and they run with it. I think that this needs to be treated in a measured type of way. We don't need knee-jerk societal reactions. Anybody can make allegations against somebody, and people who are rich and famous are particularly targets. And so obviously I don't know what happened, but I think it just needs to play out, and we need to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Well, that's what Tony Busby is saying. And so this federal lawsuit was originally filed in October. So interesting that we're only learning about this now. And then Tony Busby responded to Jay-Z's statement by writing this on X. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, meaning the defendant, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. We will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court.
What's particularly interesting is the public's reaction to these revelations. Social media has been ablaze with commentary, memes, and heated discussions. People are connecting the dots between old interviews, cryptic statements, and resurfaced stories. One Instagram post featuring Usher's 2016 interview prompted comments like, "Diddy is sick," and "This makes me cringe." Another user pointed out how telling it was for Usher to say he'd never send his kids to a similar camp.
And Mila Morales. She's a former makeup artist for Diddy and also Cassie Ventura, working for Diddy for years and eventually becoming a friend of Cassie's. In 2010, Mila alleges that she heard Cassie being physically abused and was a witness to the aftermath of the alleged attack. She joins me now. Mila, thank you so much for being here. This has been, for so many people, illuminating, infuriating, troubling, devastating. You can go down the list of things, but it's so difficult to speak about.
I know.
Being a witness of anything. Tell me how you must be feeling just knowing that this has even come to light.
Well, I have kept this secret for like 14 years. I mean, the first time I experienced it was 2010. And I was in the hotel room when Puff came in, and I had no idea Cassie left. And when I woke up, I just saw his presence come into the room. They went into the bedroom and shut the door, and all I could hear is screaming and yelling and whatever was going on in there, I don't know. But all I could think of was to grab Cassie's things and start packing it up and just getting her out to safety and bringing her to my house. So that's kind of like what transpired from that night. And once she came out of the room, she was badly, beaten.
Oh my God. What did her physical appearance look like?
I mean, it was knots on her head, black eye, busted lip, but a lot of knots all over her head.
Did she go to the police at that point or anything?
No, we didn't know what to do at that point because, Puffy is a very powerful person and we were quite terrified. So I just, brought her to my house, and my friend, who is a doctor, I called her, and thank God she was in town because we didn't know what to do. And she treated her for, just to make sure she didn't have a concussion or anything like that. But it was really it was painful to
see Cassie like that because she's such a, a beautiful human being. And for a man to just hurt any sort of woman or child or animal, it doesn't matter. But Cass is a good friend of mine. And I just felt, I just didn't know what to do. I felt like, I don't even know how to describe how I felt that night.
Did she describe how she was feeling about having that happen? Did you get a sense that this was the first time?
It didn't feel like it, because it wasn't. It was almost like, I feel like she might have been embarrassed that happened in front of me.
It's worth noting that these allegations are not just damaging to Diddy's reputation. They're causing ripple effects throughout the industry. Others who were close to Diddy are now being scrutinized. Questions are being raised about what they knew and when they knew it. The culture of silence that has protected powerful figures for so long is starting to crack, and people are demanding transparency.
But the incident that you're talking about even predates what we saw in this horrific video from a hotel floor. When that video came out, what did it feel like knowing that had now been public?
No, I was devastated when I saw that video because it was like I witnessed what could have happened in that room and more, So that was a hallway incident. Who knows what happened, in that room when I was outside of there. And I was devastated. Actually, I've been devastated since the court cases came out and how, he mistreated Cassie.
He has settled the suit involving her specifically, but there are others, and there are sources that are telling CNN that the majority of the people currently suing Diddy are actually speaking to federal investigators, which indicates the Justice Department might be moving close to an indictment. So do you think that Cassie would testify against him if federal investigators asked her to or compelled her to?
I'm really not sure. Like I said, I can't speak for Cass, but I hope she does. I hope she does because she's the only one that would know all the information that's gone on over the years. So,
Mila, why do you think? I mean, we've heard certainly, a lot of people in the industry condemn Diddy for what they saw on that video, but it hasn't been a universal outcry within the industry specifically. Why do you think that is?
Because it's a very small industry and that we all know each other. And I feel like people are afraid to speak up about it. And the only reason why I am is because I'm a friend of Cass's and I really care about her very much so. And I'm outraged and very, very heartbroken about how he's been treating her. It just, it breaks my heart. And I just can't imagine a man treating a woman that way. And not just a woman, but a friend of mine that I've known since she was a teenager. So, I've known Cassie before all of this. So it disgusts me.
I can only imagine of all the women that you have worked with and people who are eager to be in the industry, what they are exposed to, how they could be exploited and abused in a variety of ways. And that's why the idea that not hearing so many more people speak up is very frustrating and hurtful for so many people.
It is frustrating and hurtful, even for me, because I watch, I know what goes on behind the scenes, and I just can't imagine why nobody's speaking up. I mean, everyone's just hush, hush, and quiet. I don't know, maybe they're scared. I mean, we've all been scared, so,
I hope this is a turning point, Mila Morales.
I think so.
I really hope it is. Thank you so much for joining me
I hope
tonight.
so. Thank you so much, Laura, for having me.
This brings us to a crucial point. Why now? Why are these stories coming out in 2025, years or even decades after the alleged incidents occurred? Part of the answer lies in the changing cultural landscape. The hashtag #MeToo movement has empowered countless individuals to speak out against abuse, even when it involves powerful figures. Social media has given a platform to those who were once silenced. And perhaps most importantly, the public is no longer willing to look the other way.
I haven't asked for a dime from him. It's not everything is motivated by money, and I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
This woman also told us on camera last week that this isn't about money.
Well, let's be serious. A lawyer like this is not sending out these letters not to make money. He wants money and fame. He doesn't care about truth and justice. And that's what's going on here.
Chloe Malas joins us in studio. So, Chloe, explain this to me. The attorney for the plaintiffs, Tony Busby, right? He is sticking by his client even though you've been able to report these inconsistencies and they are now out there in the public?
Yes, and because of our exclusive report here on Top Story, he's actually going to have Jane Doe do a polygraph test. He says he hasn't done it yet, but that they are going to be doing it this week. He also said in a statement to us moments ago that their conduct throughout all of this has been beyond reproach and will continue to be, even though that's not what you're hearing Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, what he's saying. Also, I just want to show you, Jay-Z's team created a timeline. Obviously, they are, even though this took place allegedly 24 years ago, right? They are saying that there is just no way that he could have been at the VMAs. He's on camera there until the end of the VMAs, which ended right after 11, and that there are photographs of him at the Lotus Club in Manhattan, and they say he was there till 3 a.m. and then he went to the music studio. So again, they are adamant that
he was not at that party.
That he was not at any sort of after party.
I do want to ask you this. What is Jay-Z's sort of legal team strategy in describing the relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z? Because there are a ton of photos of them over the years, obviously before these allegations came out.
And this civil suit, Tom, originally just named Combs, and then it was amended last weekend to include Jay-Z. What Alex Spiro said to me today is that although publicly Jay-Z supported Diddy, they were not best friends. They were not as close as you thought that they were. So in terms of knowledge of what went on allegedly at these white parties and what took place allegedly in these civil suits and the criminal charge and the trial, he says Jay-Z has no knowledge of any of that. Again, he publicly supported him as a fellow musician and someone where they came up together in the industry, but that they weren't as close as you thought.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
So, what's next for Diddy? The future looks uncertain. The lawsuits, the resurfaced interviews, and the public backlash have put him in a precarious position. Even if he manages to settle these cases or prove his innocence in court, his reputation has taken a significant hit.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long. Where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning, good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors, and if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago, but in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people.
For Mary J. Blige, this is an opportunity to solidify her legacy, not just as a musical icon, but as a voice for justice. By clapping back and demanding accountability, she's showing that she's not afraid to stand up for what's right. Her actions could inspire others in the industry to follow suit, creating a ripple effect that could lead to meaningful change.
I wasn't in the ad because of look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. You saying to Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50, right? And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
so
this.
Now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like that.
For the public, this is a moment of reckoning. It's a reminder that the glitz and glamour of celebrity life often hide darker truths. It's a call to action to hold powerful figures accountable, regardless of their status or influence.
Not in the media. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York declined to comment on whether the office is pursuing this case. So what happens next?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, we don't know if the feds are going to be looking into this. They may well be at this point. I think that there are people further looking into Diddy. I think there might be a superseding indictment coming, and probably looking into the people that he's associated with himself. But this also may well be beyond the statute of limitations. So it really just depends. I mean, as it stands right now, I can't imagine that there's enough evidence to necessarily bring something, because somebody's accuser saying something happened 24 years ago without more evidence is probably not going to be enough. But then again, we don't know what evidence she has. So it really remains to be seen if this is actually going to be passed on to the criminal authorities, or if they're working on it at this point.
All right, so jury deliberations in the Daniel Penny case are set to resume today after the judge dismissed Penny's second-degree manslaughter charge, which carried a 15-year prison sentence. A jury is now being asked to consider a charge of criminally negligent homicide, which carries a 4-year prison sentence. Tell us what criminally negligent homicide is, and should Daniel Penny be worried about being found guilty of it?
Well, criminally negligent homicide is that he did not act as a reasonable person should have under the circumstances. And this is just very troubling, because I was looking at the verdict form, and the verdict form actually says, for count 1, which is the manslaughter, if you find him not guilty, then you move on to count 2, which is the criminally negligent homicide. That didn't happen here. There was no finding of guilt of guilt or any acquittal. It was just, they were deadlocked. They sent a note. They said, we can't come to a conclusion. The judge made them go back and keep deliberating. And then, treating it almost like an a la carte menu, the state decided to say, all right, well, we'll just dismiss that count. We'll proceed on the second count. Well, that's not what the jury verdict says. That's not how they were charged. It's very, very inappropriate what happened here. His attorneys were outraged. They have every right to be. This is unfortunate. whether he should be worried or not, I'm a little bit concerned that there wasn't just an acquittal or not, not guilty. So there are obviously holdouts on the jury that believe that his conduct, at least for the manslaughter count, had risen to the level of recklessness, which would assume that it rises to the level of negligence. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there is a chance that he could be, but I also think it's equally, probably more so, that it's, again, a hung jury.
We will be watching it all. Lexi, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Carly.
Have a good day.
This story is about more than just Diddy or Mary J. Blige. It's about a culture that needs to change. It's about justice for the victims who have suffered in silence for too long. And it's about ensuring that the next generation of artists can thrive in an environment free from abuse and exploitation.